welcome, man. I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah, this is cool. This is the first. Like, exciting stuff.
Well, that's cool. So now, years from now, when you're a big UFC guy or something, you can say, "Hey, I remember doing my first." I always kind of say, "You know what? Remember where you kind of came from, and then when you're a big UFC guy, you come back and do another interview with me."
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember this.
I just want to go in, man. I mean, right into this. I saw you fight at Ring of Combat. And I was thoroughly impressed. That's why I was like, you know what? I got to get this guy on the show. Tell me about that fight, man. What was your mindset going in? And how did that all play out?
So it was a big moment for me. It was my pro debut. It was a long time coming. I've been doing this for a long time. I had my first kickboxing fight when I was 15. But I never really stayed the course and stayed active with fighting. I was always in the gym. I was always training. But I almost felt like I should have been a pro years ago, but it was just a matter of going out there and doing what I know I could do, but showing everyone else. So it was a big moment, and it worked out perfectly. The training up until then, everything was clicking. I worked on a lot on my mental game and just trying to be in the moment for that moment and for that fight. And the first round, very calm, just wanted to take my time. I didn't want to force anything. Especially the takedowns. If I felt like, they weren't there, he was going to do a good job of getting back up. Just let him get back up and throw strikes while he's coming back up. But when I threw that punch, I saw his eye, like immediately when I hit him, I saw his eyes roll back, and I just knew, that was it.
Yeah, he had that look, you could tell that look, it's just, it lights out, nobody's home. And it was a huge moment, I think. And it was kind of cool because I was in the press box, and I think a couple of your family members were hanging out down there.
There was a couple of them.
Yeah. And they were like, ecstatic.
They were going crazy.
They were going freaking berserk, man. It was just fun to watch. It was fun to watch the excitement. It was fun to watch that. Your pro debut, you come out so big in that, definitely going to, there's definitely a lot of, long way to travel here. You could, you have a whole lot of potential. With that, just seeing that. And that was Ring of Combat. If anybody wants to go check it out, Ring of Combat 76 from May 20th, 2022. And that's the lightweight division, right? It was lightweight, right? I'm not mistaken on that, right?
Featherweight. No, that was my featherweight debut.
Featherweight debut. Okay, so I am mistaken.
Also my pro debut. Yeah.
That's why I always double check my information.
That's okay.
So featherweight debut. Train out of Longo, Weidman, and Law MMA. So what does training look like for you, man? What is that like? Because I know you have a pretty good record as an amateur. You're coming off a 4-win streak right now.
Yeah.
You had 3 coming up to this pro. Is that what made you decide to go pro? Is just the fact that you were moving so good?
Yeah. I feel like that was just a missing the link, the activity. In the past I would fight and then I would take, a bunch of time off and then fight again. And in this sport, you can't really do that. You need to be active. The more you're in there, the better you are. So, after COVID, I really made it a point, like, all right, if this is what I want to do, I'm going to do it the right way. And just seeing the guys in the gym and seeing they were doing everything right and the success they were having. I know my capabilities. It's just about doing the right things and kind of staying the course. So I banged out, it was three amateur fights in a row, or 4, whatever it was. And then, I definitely felt it was time to turn pro, and it worked out. It worked out good.
When you talk to your coaches about turning pro, what did they say? Ray and then whoever else is working with you over there, because I know they got a lot of, they got a great support team. It's a great system over there. The team is so close and so supportive. And I think that makes a world of difference, right?
Absolutely. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone helps each other. There's no egos, and if you kind of do have an ego, you're not going to last there too long. But
there's certainly enough people there to put you in your place. That's
exactly. Sure. So it's just a good environment, and right. All the coaches it was just kind of like, all right, now it's about time. You know what I mean? It was just my part, doing my part, staying active, getting those wins, and that was it.
Yeah, and it definitely, like I said, it's definitely shows that you're ready to go. I mean, when you come in pro like that and you get a performance like that, I mean, it's time to move. So what's your plan? Are you going to, I mean, hopefully you're not going to take too much time off now.
No, definitely not. September, Ring of Combat again, September 9th.
Okay.
So May to September. I was thinking about getting something in earlier, but there was I don't think there was a need to like really rush it. I think it's a perfect time frame, let the body recover. And then I'm going to start like really training hard, getting the diet back on in like about 2 weeks. So that'll be like 9 weeks out, and that'll be a perfect time frame.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you know, and I think that's really important too, because there's guys, they're athletes. I don't want to say guys, because guys and girls, there's athletes out there that I think sometimes come in too quickly, right back into it. They take a short notice fight or something, or they, you know, and just staying in that camp mode all the time is definitely not good for you.
It definitely, it could drain your body, but, you know, it can also, you know, work out and pay out. I think if you're in the UFC and they call and you just fought, you know, it's a good opportunity to make some money. And, you know, if you get another win, who knows where it puts you. But, you know, what my situation, September, right around the corner, it just works out. Definitely always training and staying in the gym. You just kind of like, when you get into like that camp mode, you kind of turn everything up. The diet gets on point, and more sparring. Everything's kind of more intense.
Oh yeah. It goes from like, you know, let's just move a bit and get stronger to, okay, now it's time to get everything in.
Yeah, everything's dialed in.
Tune it all up and get it all going. And, you know, like I said, and of course, if you got a call from UFC tomorrow and said, hey, we want to give you a shot, I would definitely say, hey, you know what? For better or worse, it's exposure. So who cares? You know, just get in there, you know, do everything you can to win. But no matter what happens in that, you still get exposure into UFC. So it's still it's a win-win no matter what. But
sure.
You know, but definitely, you know, it sounds like you got it spaced out pretty good. I mean, there's guys, like I said, Cowboy Cerrone, I think, fights way too much. Yeah.
But he just loves to fight, and he's getting a nice payday every time he's in there. So, you know, I get it. That's his full-time, that's his career. That's what he loves to do.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely get that,
got to recover, man. I'm a long-time athlete, and believe me, I've you know, Olympic lifting, CrossFit, you know, all kinds of stuff. And, you know, it's important to have that rest time. You know, I
absolutely
say that's almost as important as all the work you're doing.
For sure. I think recovery is the most important thing.
Yeah. So what got you into MMA? What made you start? I mean, you said you started kickboxing at 15, right?
Yeah, it was my first fight, but I started karate when I was 6.
Okay.
So just doing that, get into that as a kid. And then shortly after that, I wanted to box. So, but my sensei, my trainer at the time, was like, why would you want to box when you could kick, elbow, knee, and do all these other things?
Got all these other weapons.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I said, you're right. And so that's what kind of got me into kickboxing. And then I started wrestling in high school. And then just kind of putting everything together. And that's what led to MMA.
Okay. So you just kind of kept going from there and, you know, kind of kept with it. And I think it's great. It keeps you focused. You know, sometimes I think it just keeps you, you know, for me, it's like being that involved in training and stuff throughout my life it keeps you out of trouble.
100%. Absolutely. It gives you a goal to work towards every time. And you're always learning. You're always pushing yourself. Not, you know, it's never the same. Like, you know, you go to lift at the gym is all great, but like you go to work out and you're working on something, you're working on a skill, you know, it's never the same. You're always improving. Yeah. And I just always loved the training.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I get to now is like, and I was talking to a few fighters about this, you know, the game has changed over the years, right? The MMA game has changed quite significantly. It's not, I mean, I think the athlete level has gone through the roof. I mean, it's just, you know, and I think that's in a lot of sports, right? Because as we grow as sports, I mean, we see guys now, even in CrossFit, you know, I don't know if you know too much about that, but we got guys
a little bit. Yeah.
We got guys right now pushing like a 400 plus pound back squat and then running a 5-minute mile. I mean, it's just insane, right?
They're super athletes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, how do you do that? Right. You know, so it's like the game has changed in MMA quite a bit. You can't be that one trick pony anymore. You can't be that guy or the girl who just, you know, let's say you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but your striking sucks.
Yeah. You're not going to make it too far. Not in the UFC, at least. Everyone always asks like, oh, what's your style? What's your style? This and that. You could have like a specialty, like, style bender. Everyone knows like his stand-up is just off the charts, but you have to be able to do it all because everyone could do it all. So you have to cover all your grounds. Just like you said, it's not like, in the past, I'm a wrestler versus a boxer. That could be your main expertise and like where you really shine, but you definitely have to do it all. You have to be able to do everything very well.
Yeah. And like when I first started watching UFC, it was years ago. I remember I was young, obviously. I mean, I'm almost 50 now, so it's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm an old guy, but the fact of the matter is, but you know what? I still roll with some, I still roll with the 20 somethings and do all that stuff, but
just a number.
Yeah, it is. I think age is just something you sometimes people put too much on it.
Yeah. I don't like too much on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, but when I first saw it, the big push with the UFC was, putting different styles together. Right. So it was like, Ken Shamrock versus Hoist Gracie. And, they would take all these and say, it was kind of part of that whole thing years ago. I don't know if you remember, go back that far where you remember where, it was always like in martial arts, you had your discipline. And you never came outside of your discipline. It was like, you're a guy, you're a Kung Fu guy, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was a boxer versus the wrestler, the jiu-jitsu guy versus the karate guy. Yeah. Definitely. It's cool to see how much it evolved. And like I said, everyone kind of could still have their background and what they come from, but you're training everything all the time.
Yeah. And that's where I was kind of getting at, right? How do you balance that? How do you balance okay, I got to be a good striker. I got to be a great striker. As a matter of fact, if you want to be a pro, you got to be a great striker. You can't just be a good striker. I got to know how to stop takedowns. I got to know how to go to the ground. I got to know how to do the jujitsu or wrestling or whatever it is you choose to do on the ground. I mean, you don't have to do it all, do all of those, but you do have to be good at some kind of ground game.
Absolutely.
How do you balance that? What does that look like in your training?
It's hard. And, obviously it's hard for all MMA fighters. We have so much to do. You have jujitsu, you have wrestling, you have boxing, you have kickboxing, you have strength and conditioning. So it's so much to kind of put in one schedule. And then you're not just looking to throw it in there. You want to plan it out to where everything is kind of at the right time. So your hard days are kind of further away from your sparring. So you get the most out of your sparring or get the most out of your strength and conditioning. It's a lot. And I'm always looking to improve my schedule and how I do things. It's just kind of teammates and coaches and trying to pick their brain and see what's best and definitely listening to your body. If you're really beat down and you have to spar tomorrow, it's probably not the best idea. Or you have a hard wrestling day. Maybe the day before you want to take it easy, it's just always kind of like a learning curve, but also working on your weaknesses, I think is the most important thing. Everyone wants to do things that they're good at. It's easy. It comes natural, but really working on the stuff that, needs to be worked on and needs to, you need to put the time in. I think that's very important.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing. If I had and your way, I think that's a great insight is listen to your body. It took me years. I used to have coaches that would say, you need to take a break. But I need to train for, and I'm doing 7 days a week, 7 days hard. And
that's a lot.
And then you get into the real deal where you're doing 2-a-days, right? So you're doing in the morning and then you're doing the evening crap. And it's I would program my strength in the morning and then I would do all my metabolic conditionings in the evening, would be kind of my schedule. But, you got to kind of say, okay. And I've gotten hurt doing
it. Well, that's the main thing, injuries. That's how injuries happen. I've been lucky and, a little bit of luck, a little bit of, kind of smart planning, but I haven't had really major injuries and I've kind of been doing this a long time. Knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens. But just because I listen to my body, I'm kind of proactive instead of reactive. If something, I try and stretch, I try and warm up, I try and massage therapy and all recovery stuff to make sure my body is healthy when I go into training. Not looking to get injured,
Yeah, because that'll stop you up right there. I mean, I know fighters that have had to take a year off because
and that's got to be miserable.
Oh, and they're like right in the middle of their like a big push, right?
Yeah. Obviously things happen. You could be warmed up and everything, and something could still happen. But you got to try and do your part and do as much as possible.
Well, it's reducing risk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Reduce
as much as you
risk
can
of injury. You still, I mean, anytime you're doing a combat sport,
it's there.
You can
just
get hurt.
Want to try and contain it as much as possible.
You got people punching each other and kicking each other in the face. It's kind of
there. It's always going to be there. Yeah,
there's a potential for injury there, and
sure,
it's just one of those things. And another thing, you're right, is you got to train the stuff you hate doing. Right, all the crap you don't like. If your mobility sucks, you got to train that mobility. If you're if your cardio sucks, you got to get in there and get on the damn bike and do like an hour on the friggin' bike. And everybody hates that. I hate the bike. I will tell you, I hate getting on an assault bike for an hour, but when it's something you got to do because your cardio is not right, you got to.
Cardio is the most important thing.
Oh yeah. And fight cardio is different,
Yeah.
Fight cardio is very different than I would say like, a bicyclist or a runner or even.
Oh yeah. 100%. 100%.
It's just a different way you're moving your body, right? And it's different.
Explode, rest, over and over and over.
And then, you may have to limit some of that rest because you may explode. It doesn't land where you want it to, and the other guy explodes
again. Yeah. And then you have to be on the defense and worry about getting. Yeah, it's a lot. It's chaotic.
Yeah, worried about getting hit. So I think if it was up to me, I would do clean and jerks every day, all day long. But that's not going to help me with everything else.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of training what you hate, So overhead squats and thrusters. That's what it is for me. I hate it.
Yeah.
With a passion. But I make sure I program them a few times a week because
Good.
There's stuff I hate doing. So you're good at it. So what is you're a pro fighter now, just turned pro this year. Congratulations. A big step.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see where your career goes. I will be at Ring of Combat in September.
Nice.
It'll be, I'll get a pass for that and come in and cover it. But, definitely want to follow your career. But what does being a pro fighter mean to you? What does that mean as far as, okay, you were an amateur for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're stepping the game. Now, what does that mean? You made a step here. And what does that mean to you? It's
cool. Whenever you meet, if I was like with the team or, you meet someone and they're like, they know you're fighters and like, everyone's like, oh, I'm pro. And then like, you're the one guy who's like, I'm still an amateur. So, it's cool to say now that you are a pro, but it's a new beginning. And it's also like the real deal. This is everything. This is where it counts. And this is where things have to be right. And I have to learn from my mistakes in the past. And if this is what I really want to do, like, this is it. Like, I could change my life and I could really get to my goals and dreams now. Like, I'm a professional fighter. What I do now counts. And, I need to put some wins together, but the UFC is not that far, or like the Bellator, PFL, like these big organizations, they're right there. They're like I just have to put the work in and go perform every single time. And it's there and it'll be there. It could be there before I know it. I could, this year and the beginning of next year, I could rack up another 4 wins, get finishes, and I'm right there. I keep getting a call. So, it's very exciting. It's exciting to finally all my work and dreaming about this. And there was some like roadblocks, but like to know that it's right there and that I could do it. And it's not something that's so unattainable. Like, I know I could do it.
Yeah. And look, I mean, honestly, you come out of a great gym where you got a lot of people in Bellator, you got a lot of people in UFC, you got, there's more champs from UFC in that gym than I think, you'd probably have to go to Florida to ATT to see just as many. And you got legendary coaches around you, you got Matt Serra, you got Ray Longo, you got, one of my favorite people, Jenny Nadell, you got all these people kind of, that are just so experienced to pass that along to you, and they want to see you do well. And you got Marab in there. Just people are killing it right now. So and let me tell you something. People are watching. These events like ROC, CF,
there's so many fighters that came from ring combat that are UFC fighters that were in the UFC. You know, that's definitely the avenue, and there's obviously other avenues, but this is the step. This is where where it could take you to the next, to those big stages.
No doubt. I mean, no doubt at all. I mean, there's definitely a lot of room to get seen there.
Yeah.
And and that's what it's about, right? It's getting noticed, getting seen, going out. And you're absolutely right. I mean, and I think it's smart to kind of wait out your amateur career a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't stand when I see someone have a couple amateur fights and then they jump right into pro. And it's like, you're setting yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah, because like now what you do counts. It doesn't go away. Like when you're an amateur, it's your time to learn. And if you're making those mistakes, make them there. Once you go pro, then I don't follow. Aljo said it the best, and it took me a long time to understand. Like he always said, like if you're an amateur and this is what you want to do, you should be fighting every month. Like travel, any card that you get on, get the experience, because it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're learning, you're getting comfortable in there, so that when you do go pro, all that benefits you.
Yeah, jumping in too early can have a very negative impact on your career. When you jump in there too early. And I didn't even mention Aljo, and I should have. He's another one. I mean, no doubt at all that he's he's one of those guys that can give you a lot. He's got a ton of experience. He's the champ right now. I mean, what better influence can you have than that?
Exactly.
So I mean, is there anything else, anything I missed, anything you want to kind of throw out there? I mean, what are your goals, man? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I'm absolutely in the UFC, and I'm just happy with what I'm doing. Like I'm this passion for so long and this dream that at times like I didn't think was attainable. I thought it was a far stretch. I didn't think I could do it, but now I truly believe that I can be there. I've been around these guys. I've been with Aljo in Vegas, and I've been around other UFC fighters and just the UFC fighters in the gym. And I know that you don't have to be Superman to get to the UFC or to be a pro fighter or, to reach your goals. You just got to work hard and stay the course. And now I truly believe that I could do it. I'll be in the UFC. I'll be happy in life, and I'll be excited. I'm pursuing my dream, and, maybe, breaking, in the rankings but as long as I stay the course and I keep loving what I'm doing, I know I could, the sky's the limit.
Sounds great, man. And what inspires you? What makes you keep going? What makes you keep pushing? Because it is hard work. And I always say some of the loneliest times, success doesn't happen with cheering crowds. Success happens when you're alone in the middle of winter. Yeah. In this part of the country, working out,
for sure,
hating life, but you do it anyway. What inspires you to keep doing that?
I just, loving what you're doing. And also I never wanted to do like easy things. I always kind of admired the people that I almost kind of wish growing up, I had it harder, because I feel like that just makes you, obviously later in life harder. And I feel like the people who had a really hard upbringing, the most successful, because they just know what it takes to keep going and pushing. And I just love the struggle. I don't want anything to come really easy. I just, the suffering, the pain, like you have to enjoy that. You have to love that if you're going to succeed in this sport. And I love all that. I love the hard training, the uncertainty, just desire to be the best that you could be. I love all that.
To look at it and say, hell, I pushed through all this, and there's something to be said about that. People who come up in a hard way, and I didn't come up super hard either. I'm going to tell you, I mean, I come from a middle-class family in the middle of the suburbs here, it's like, I'm not.
Yeah. And it's a great thing, but I don't know, just something, looking at like Marab, like you look at that guy, to come to this country, like this is a true dream. And what that guy's been through, that's why he's the animal he is today.
Well, he's all in. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the thing. He's pushed the chips all in and says, here's what I'm doing. This is
it. There's no break. There's no quit. There's no break. That guy's seen, the hardest stuff in life. And when he goes into that cage, that's not even like a fraction of the difficult things that, he's probably had to overcome.
Yeah. Someone once told me a long time, I don't know if I agree with it or not, but they said that, to really be successful in something, you can't have a safety net. You can't have a fallback plan.
Yeah, no, I get that, because I even see myself when I spread myself too thin with work, and your mind starts to slip. You have, a lot of these guys say you have to be like obsessed. And I get that, because, maybe you're not obsessed, but the guys that are training are, and there's guys out there in other countries that have nothing, and all they're thinking about is breaking your face, or, winning, or getting to UFC, or winning a title, and training all the time just to beat you. And if you're not doing that, it's a very dangerous sport to be involved in if you're not doing all that.
Yeah. I mean, look at anybody who's been successful in business or anything has gotten, look at, Elon Musk. He's obsessed with what he's doing,
Yeah, and you hear guys say it all the time, and I think it's the truth.
Yeah, and it's and you got to kind of be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? That's kind of that's the rule of thumb, I think, and because it's really hard to get up, and I think Marvin Hagler said this. It's hard to get up and do road work when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
Yeah.
So
except Connor says he could do it, so we'll see. He says he still wants to do it.
Okay, all right.
We'll find out. If he get a win, then he proves that statement wrong.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens, right? So, hey, man, I wish you the best. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Any shout out you want to make? Anything? Any? Where can people find you, or any of that stuff?
My Instagram is _, my last name, Dilemme. Shout outs just, to the gym, everyone at Longo and Wyman MMA. I love my team. They're the best. I couldn't, be where I am without them, my coaches, teammates. And, just very grateful to have walked into that gym and kind of made it my home for the last 8 years.
8 years, man. That's a long time to last in that gym. So just
feels like yesterday.
Just saying, if you could survive there, you can survive in any gym, man. So, they're a great bunch of guys, but you got to be at a high level.
Absolutely.
At a high level. So thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, man. And I'll see you soon. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you for
reaching out. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you fight, man.
Hell yeah. Thank you,
brother. Be good, man.
Take care, man.